Let's go! Do-do-do-do, 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 let's go!
Hello, welcome to OT for 2, episode 5. I'm your host Trish Lurk and I can't wait to jump into part 2 of our teenager series. If you haven't already listened to episode 4, we will be building on the concepts that we began in that episode. So hit pause now, jump back an episode, do a little bit of catch up, and then join us again when you are up to date and ready. Let's dive right in.
A suitable consequence, ways to set boundaries, to be able to have a little bit of this is the expectation, this is what I need, this is actually bedtime, and how can we do that? All really great questions, and I think let's just break them down one by one. I think last time where we left off, we talked a lot about using technology to create a point of connection with a teenager. That's actually, it is their world. Their phone is something that they hold to, cling to, rely on. It's like air and oxygen. We talked about all of those concepts last time. And so finding a time to actually sit together and scroll on your phones and share funny memes or reels that you see is actually going to be speaking their language. It's actually going to be talking teenager, and it'll slot you into the category of a relatable parent or a cool parent even, dare I say it. And I'm picturing in my head the Mean Girls mum that comes out with the fake boobs and goes, I'm not a regular mom, I'm a cool mom. And while like her approach may be a little bit too far gone, I feel for the way that teenagers need us as parents. It's more about connection at where they're at, and their connection point is their phones. And so if that means you're on your Instagram account or on YouTube Reels or Shorts or whatever they call it on YouTube, if it means that you are doing that beside him and you're both sharing what you're looking at and having a little giggle, that's what he's doing with his mates. So you doing that with him is actually speaking his language, because at the moment you're speaking adult, which is #boring to a teenager, and you're not boring, you're wonderful, and you have a lot to offer, and you have a lot to offer in terms of connection. So that's undeniable. But in terms of that overarching concept of connection, we need to speak their language as parents. And for a child, it's getting on their level on the floor and stacking blocks and crashing them and going, uh-oh, let's build it again. But for a teenager, it's all about the phone. I'm checking out that you're watching shorts on YouTube. Show me the funniest thing that you found today. What's something funny that one of your mates shared with you so that you can be part of that moment? It's exactly the same as you doing it around the dinner table, but you're doing it in a meaningful way. And you could actually do that as your just before I start cooking, we're going to do, let's show each other the funniest things that we've found on our phones today. And that does mean you're going to have to sit on the toilet and do some scrolling, because that's what I do to connect with my teenager. I sit on the toilet in the morning and I find a really flippin' funny thing, and then I save it and I go, that's the funny thing I'm going to share with my kid today. And that's how I connect with my teenager. And it works. Like it's legitimately like you are speaking their technological language by actually doing stuff that they're doing with their friends. And don't be cringe about it. You can absolutely do that in a very casual way. And find, as you start sharing and he starts sharing with you, you'll start to see what his sense of humor is like. And you can sort of lean into that and find more funnies by a slightly different presenter or a slightly different platform on YouTube Shorts, or if he's on social media Shorts. And that way you have got a point of connection just before you start cooking and say, hey, this is now a new thing. Before I start cooking dinner and you're going to help me with that cooking dinner process, we're going to share the funniest thing that we've got on our phones for the day, whatever our mates have sent through or whatever. And then you're going to launch into, and then we're going to cook tea together. And I need a bit of a hand because I am a scatterbrain. Like, you may not be a scatterbrain, but like fessing up that you need a bit of help from a teenager, also empowers them to think, oh, I can be a helper in this space because my parents got a deficit. You don't have a deficit, but it's pitching it that way so that they're actually coming on board to realize that they're actually being a bit of a help, and they can be a help. Because for your kiddo, he's got a lifetime at school of being told that he's a bit of a misfit and he's doing dodgy stuff on purpose, which his neurospicy brain is not inherently wired to be annoying and frustrating and to do things on purpose to bug other people. He is born well-natured. You know this, I know this. He came out into the world wanting to be cuddled and soothed and understood, and you're the best person to do it. So what I'm saying is, let's do some new rhythms in your family routine. New rhythms that actually include his big passionate love for the technology and love for the reels and love for the shorts. And you find some funny business and like legitimate homework for you tonight is to stockpile, have a bank, have a little saved folder in YouTube of funny business I need to share. Bank it all up. Because some days I don't have anything. I've got crickets. I go looking and I just find dodgy stuff that's not appropriate to share with a teenage boy or a teenage girl. So, have a bank, because that gets you out of hot water. And then before dinner, set this up as a time when, tucking them into bed and say, hey, tomorrow I want to start something new and I wonder if you'll help me because I actually don't know where I'm looking for some funny business and I need a good laugh. And I know that you get some funny business from your mates. So how about we have a time of 5 minutes where you share and I share, and then we cook tea together and we put our phones onto charge because they're going to need to be souped up, and then we just scroll on our phones for half an hour after tea before we hit the homework. Beautiful ways to connect, beautiful ways to get them on board and involved, and beautiful ways to just be with each other side by side. And actually then valuing what they can contribute into the space in terms of being helpful or physically helpful. That's also going to help you abundantly and immensely. So that's the first key thing in terms of you're not going to get anywhere with consequences if you actually don't have some beautiful rhythms of connection. Does that sound doable? It's not crazy hard, and it's actually going to be fun for you. And it'll mean that you have a fun time together, which I would love for you to have. And do you know what? He just wants to have fun with you too. And that's why, the more that they go down their deep wormhole of playing on their gaming, whatever, Dungeons and Dragons or Discord or whatever they're on, the more that they're immersed in that and we distance ourselves as parents, the further we drift away from them. They're paddling in a different direction and we're not following, and we're just yelling out, come back, and they're on their boat going way out to sea, having a great time, and they don't care. So follow in your boat, even though it's a bit scary. Do a little bit of Gary groundwork or research on what they're into and what games he's onto, and work out how you can do it too. And get him, we talked about last time, hey, how about you show some interest in Brawl Stars or show some interest in Discord or whatever and learn it alongside him. Give it a go. Give it a go for at least 20 minutes. I'm not even joking on that time frame. You can't throw the towel in like a toddler after 30 seconds and say you don't like it. You actually have to give it a good go because they'll see that you're just trying to appease them or whatever. So, actually give it a try.
So our next question is around, what do you do if they're going to an activity that they'd been going to since they were, 8 years old? And all of a sudden they're going and they're getting in trouble with their mates for faffing around and not actually participating in the way that the activity was designed. What do you do then?
Yeah, so maybe we change that vehicle. Maybe we don't do Scouts or whatever the activity is as the vehicle for catching up with mates. Maybe set up hey, we're all hanging on Friday night or Thursday night between 7 and 10 or 7 and 9:30, whatever you parents have a little chitty chat, make a WhatsApp group. That's what all the parents are doing, and saying, hey, the boys actually are not getting a lot out of Scouts. They're not going there to learn how to tie knots and light a campfire. They're going there to hang. So why don't we order pizzas every Wednesday and they come over between 7:30 and 9:30 and they hang and eat pizza and drink whatever, soft drink, and play Brawl Stars together and actually enjoy each other's company and not do each other in by not listening to the instructions because they just want a gas bag about Brawl Stars or whatever they're onto, I think setting our kids up to win is all we can do when they're in the teenage years. It's actually they're up on the trapeze. We've shown them how the trapeze works. We've shown them the safety. We've done it with them. We've done the buddy system. We've done the tandem jump out of the plane with them, or the tandem swing. Now they're going to go solo, and we're standing as the coach with the safety net in place, going, yeah, you got this. Release now. Jump now. Flip now. We're just the coaches on the ground. We've got to back off a bit. But if you don't set them up for a win with a safety net there, and all they want to do out of that activity is hang out, set them up well to hang out. Sending them to scouts to get in trouble by the leader for not listening to the instructions because they want to hang out, that they're actually following what their goal is of that, not the goal of the activity. And you're paying money for it probably. So like, save yourself some dollars and buy some pizza and let them hang out and do some gaming for 2 hours or an hour and a half, whatever they would have done at that activity, and actually have a hangout that is safe, where they're in a home where there's some adult supervision, but they're actually got some opportunity to connect, which is what they want to do. Sending them along to scouts, if they're not getting anything out of it, no one's winning there. You're losing out. They're getting in trouble. The scout leader hates them. Not that they want to hate them, but, you know, they just want the kids there that want to be there. If they don't want to be there, don't go. Like, we need to set our kids up to win. We absolutely need to set our kids up to win. And you know, having kids going to ballet lessons, if they don't want to do ballet lessons, they're only going to fart around and get in trouble. So why would we do that? I mean, school's another story. Well, I talk too much. My ballet teacher legitimately said, Trish, I'm going to put a bag that I put horse feed in over your head to make you shut up. And I was like, oh, sorry, Mrs. Hayden. And like, God bless her, I was too talkative for ballet, but I learnt to mask and to rein it in because I loved dancing and I loved expressing myself with my body. But that was not the outlet for me. I needed a Zumba class that allowed me to do zoomies and get the big energy out. And I needed to be able to gas bag while doing it because the music's so loud, no one would care if I was doing it. Classical ballet was not that zone. So it's about finding the right fit for every single child and what they actually want. And if all teenagers want is to sit around and talk smack to each other about whatever that they've been watching on YouTube, facilitate that in a safe way with boundaries. Set them up to succeed on the trapeze with a safety net, with coaching from the sidelines. The main thing that I want you to take away thus far is that as teenagers, we're in the coaching stage as parents. We are no longer in the hand-holding, mollycoddling, lick the face and rub it with a tissue or your fingers. Stop doing that because they don't like it. They're not into that. They want a bit of freedom, but they also want to know that you're going to catch them if they fall. And that is the big takeaway ticket from all of this, is that teenagers need to know that the safety net under the trapeze is there, and that you're spotting them, but actually giving them a bit of space to have a go. If they don't want to hear your coaching from the ground, that's okay. But you've delivered it. You've done what you need to do as a freaking out parent of like, oh, they're up high, it's scary. You know, you've delivered what they need in that moment, but we don't have to worry about all of the other on-flow things in that space. Because at the end of the day, all they really want is to know that they're seen, that you believe in them, and you'll catch them if they fall. That they're seen, that you believe in them, and that you'll catch them if they fall. It's simple. It's not a lot. It's not full cray-cray out of this world, unachievable. And it will help you then to transition from a teenager that knows that they're loved and trusted, and that they're empowered to give it a go with support on the back end or on the side end or on the coaching down on the ground beside the safety net. They know that they're going to have that, but that will then set you up beautifully when your tiny human, who is now a teenager, who's going to be taller than you and probably already is, hits 18, wants to leave home and live on their own. Wonderful. That's the point you get to transition to, hey, let's have a grown-up fun drink together and hang out and be friends, because I don't need to be wiping your bottom anymore. You are not 3. We have moved on from that. I don't need to be coaching you blow by blow on what you need to do because your frontal lobe is much more developed than a 3-year-old's at the age of 21. We can now transition into, let's be friends. Let's enjoy each other's company. But you've done well. If you set that up, you've got to be intentional. So intentional parenting is what this actually is all about. It's actually saying, hey, I want to be able to connect with you like this when you're an adult. I want us to be friends. I don't want to be henpecking you to pick up your dirty jocks off the floor and walk them down to the laundry. I want you to want to do that. I don't want to be henpecking you when you've got a wife and you're bringing your washing back to me because you don't know how to use the machine. You want to be encouraging your teenager to actually go, hey, I recognize that you want to be a fully functional adult in the world one day. I recognize you want to drive. I recognize you want to live on your own. I recognize you don't want me to be chasing after you, untying your shoelaces at 25. So I'm trying to set you up for the win, mate. I'm trying to set you up for the win, and I want to be the coach now. I don't want to hold your hand. You don't need hand holding because you're in your teenage years. You don't need bum wiping because you're in your teenage years. You are now at a point where I'm not going to lick that Vegemite off your face because you ate like a scrappy pig. You go look in the mirror and sort yourself out. If you want the chicks to dig that face, don't be walking around with Vegemite on it. It stinks, number one. And two, you look like you got poo on your face. Do you want that for your life? No. Sometimes some of those things sound like really in your face and really harsh. But if they don't know the why behind the what, which is what we talked about last time, if they don't know the why behind the what of what they're doing and why you're getting them to take thongs into a public shower, you don't want them to get foot fungus and then their foot skin to rot off in sheets and then have plantar warts that you need to burn off, and then you've got to wear special shoes because your feet hurt and you've got to have time off school and you can't see your friends. Like, that sounds like a really long list of potential issues that could happen just by not wearing thongs in a public shower at a holiday caravan park. But if they don't know the why behind the what, there's no buy-in. There is never any buy-in if they don't know the why behind the what. So our big ticket things to consider is it's always going to be, what is the why behind the what? Let me throw it into the future. Do you want me to still be wiping your bum on your wedding day? I don't think so. Do you want me to be called in to work when you're in the middle of a meeting and you pooed yourself and I've got to go change your pants? No, you don't. Like, how embarrassing is that? And how lame is that? I want you to be able to do these things independently, and I know that you want it too. And that's the why behind the what. And by backing off from full support mode, which is what we do for toddlers and babies, to backing off to a little bit of just, I'm taking a step away. I'm not helicoptering as much anymore. You're in primary school. Oh, wait, now you're in high school. I'm now on the floor. You're up at the trapeze. The safety net's there. I'm just going to here if you need, like a netballer, here if you need. You're not, if they choose not to use you, that's okay in terms of passing the ball to you like they do on a netball court. You're saying here if you need, you're calling. But if they're cool, let him go. Let him have a try and let him know it's safe to try, because you're going to be there to catch him. The safety net there's to catch him. And you're just going to be there as a support, as a cheerleader, as a coach from the ground. The other thing I just want to hit on, sorry, just because you brought this up already, in terms of like setting our kids up to win. If leaders of community groups like Scouts know the neurotype and the neurodivergent needs, like the kids' needs, it's important that they know. If a child is too nervous to share, hey, I'm neurodivergent, I need instructions to be clear, explicit, and specific. I need there to be clear rules, and if there are clear rules, I'm going to follow them because my brain says follow the rules. I'm not purposefully trying to be disruptive, and I'm not purposefully trying to be annoying or to be a rule breaker, because I'm inherently a good human and I'm not hardwired to want to go and end up in juvie. So if they can't deliver that verbally themselves, some of the kids that I work with, by the time they get to teen years, they're writing letters to their teachers that we've already written together in our sessions, and they email them off to their teachers. These are my needs in the classroom. I need you to write down instructions. I need you to post them somewhere that I'm going to see them on OneNote or Compass or Seesaw or Schoolbox, whatever the school uses, Microsoft Teams. These are my needs. If my needs are met, I'm going to learn well. If my needs are not met, I'm going to be spinning around on my desk chair, picking chewing gum from under the desk and maybe asking if I can just go to the toilet because it's boring. So by communicating our needs, we are always going to put ourselves in the best position to have those needs met. If your child is not ready to advocate for their own needs and to self-advocate, because that's the ideal trajectory, to be able to go into a job interview and say, hey, I would love this job, but because my brain works in a particular way, I know that these kind of things help me and these kind of things don't help me. Do you think you can help me with those needs that I have and help me to stay away from the things that are not helpful? And that is a great way to communicate because it's open and upfront. I'm going through perimenopause, and when I walk in somewhere, I am already molten hot lava on the inside. I look like a hot mess on the outside. And I walked into a professional development at a hotel in Melbourne last week, and I went straight to a staff member and I said, I need to know where the toilet is. Number one, because I'm going to bust and pee my pants. And number two, I need a jug that is full to the brim of ice with no water in it, because I just need that to be kept coming because my body is overheating and it does that all day long. Can you meet my needs? And the waitress was so accommodating. That jug of ice did not go down in a level at all for the entirety of a 2-day conference. They showed me where the bathroom was, and then they said, what's your name? And I said, my name's Trish. What's your name? They shared their name, and I said, thank you so much for helping me, because now I can actually concentrate on this learning that I'm here to do. And they said, if there's anything you need, please sing out. And then throughout the day, they'd come over and say, hey, Trish, is there anything else we can get for you? Is your ice cold enough? I'm like, ice can't get any colder. But thanks for asking. And then I was like, actually, I would love a Coke because I'm starting to lose focus. And they're like, do you want diet? Do you want normal? Like, people are willing to help you if you express your needs. But if your kid's not ready to express their needs verbally, can they do it through an email? That's pre-written. They don't need to rewrite it. They can have pre-written it and it's a PDF and they just hit attach and send. Please read. This would really help me from blah, blah, blah. Send. That is beautiful communication and that is self-advocacy. And the whole purpose of doing that now is it's a test run for getting jobs. It's a test run for rental properties. It's a test run for running a business. It's a test run in the teenage years. That's the safe place to try. That's why they can get jobs at 15 now. They've raised the age, just, in case your child needs to have a cry about the fact it's not 14 and 9 months anymore. It's now 15. They have to wait 3 more months because 3 more months of frontal lobe development at 15 is really going to make a difference, but who knows? That's a bit of a sarcastic dig. But at the end of the day, it's been 14 and 9 months since I got a job at 14 and 9 months. And now they've just changed it this year. And my son, jaw hit the floor and he goes, I have to wait. And I said, mate, you already work for Kaiko Fidgets. I do not understand why you are outraged. Yeah, he makes fidgets. He gets paid to sit and listen to podcasts or watch reels while making fidgets. And if he wants to make them at 1 a minute, he's going to get rich quick. If he wants to make one every 30 minutes because his hand is sore, he can do that. And because he gets paid per piece. I mean, what kind of great job is that for a teenager? It's bloody brilliant. It's genius. I mean, really, at the end of the day, my kid watched all the Avengers movies and he earned enough money to buy a $1,000 mountain bike for himself. I mean, that's a 2-for-1 special. That's a great job for a teenager. I love what I get to do and the honour and the privilege of getting to sit with families and to unpack these big questions, which at the end of the day, look, really, the homework that I've given you is so delightful. Find funny stuff on shorts and stories and reels, save them, make a folder, call it what you will, funny stuff to share with my kid, and then sit and watch them with your kid. And I can tell you they work because it's practice-based evidence. The evidence is in the fact that it's been practiced and practiced and practiced. And in the medical field, they talk about evidence-based practice, which is, here's the evidence, now go and do it. But people are not robots. They are not the same. So you can't do the same thing with every person. And that's why OTs are amazing, because we look at the person, the environment, the occupation, their roles, their skill set. And then we go, okay, so your brain works like this. Your body works like this. What's going to be the best job for you? No, working at Macca's is not the best job because you hate the smell of deep fryers. Do not work at Macca's. You never want to clean a toilet? Don't work at Macca's. You don't like people yelling at you through a headset, don't work at Macca's. That is not for you. You hate touching things that other people have touched. Do not work at Macca's. I mean, I'm using Macca's as an example because every teenager thinks that's a great job. But maybe they're better suited to working in a library and refiling books in a numerical order system that makes sense to them. And that's a great job for that person. Maybe they're better suited making fidgets while watching movies and listening to audiobooks. Maybe that's a great job for them. And part of my job as an OT is I get the honour and the privilege of exploring each individual that I work with, exploring their brain with them, exploring their strengths, and exploring those as superpowers, not hindrances, if that's even a word, and then helping them to actually go, this is how you can use all of your skill set for the greater good of humanity, for the world that you live in, and how you can feel that you're contributing and belonging in a world that was not built for you. Because this world was not built for us neurodivergent humans with spicy brains, with ADHD, autistic brains, acquired brain injury, fetal alcohol spectrum disorder. Our brains were not built for a world that is built for able bodies and minds that work in a neurotypical fashion. We are odd bods in a world that was created for other human beings. And it almost feels like the neurodivergent community are actually a completely different race sometimes, because the world feels like it was built for people that have a completely different skill set and way of thinking. The world was not built for the way my brain works and how fast it works. I actually annoy people a lot because I have already thought about, executed, and made plans for something that I wanted done 30 minutes before I even vocalized it. And the sentence isn't even fully out of my mouth. And my husband goes, have you thought about it? And he's not being insensitive, but actually what he's saying is, I need 3 weeks to think about it. And I'm like, oh, sorry, my love. I've already booked all those things in and the builder's coming next week and we're going to get a new room. And he's like, what? Where's the money come from? I said, oh, I asked for a payment plan because I need that because I know our bank account won't allow us to do it right now. And he goes, you are ballsy. And I was like, yeah, sometimes I need a wheelbarrow to carry my balls around. That is legitimately no joke. But to be honest, I really hope that your homework delights your heart in terms of finding some funny stuff to share, talking about this with your little guy and saying, hey, I want to set this up as a tradition for us. And it's not about actually making rules and expectations yet, because once you've done connection, then you can set all of that stuff into place. There's just been so long of you being disconnected that we can't put rules in because there's no connection point to be able to attribute, I want to do this for mum because she's asked me. It's not going to work. You know, it's like a teacher that a kid doesn't respect coming up and going, hey, get off that seat. You're not allowed to stand there. They're going to just be like, here, have the bird. And then they're going to get sent to the principal's office for flipping the bird.
Well, there you have it. Develop a connection. That'll develop respect. Know what their goals are. Scaffold, set them up for the win. And that's Teenagers 101. This is OT for 2. Bye. Thanks for listening to OT for 2. The song used in this podcast in the intro and outro is the original song written by Jane Nielsen and Trish Lurk. All information within this podcast should be taken to your healthcare professional, occupational therapist, music therapist or paediatrician in order to ensure that it is tailored adequately for your needs.